Joined now by Fox NBA analyst Ric Bucher. Basel, talk to me. Why isn't Steph the face of the NBA right now?
Okay, I'm going to give you guys a few answers to this simple question of why Steph Curry isn't the face of the NBA right now. One, and I hate to enumerate things because you usually get to about five and you're like, damn it, why did I say five? And I don't have anything. Number one, the face of the NBA still plays in the NBA. His name is LeBron James. Now, I can stop right now and not win the argument, but let's go deeper than that. Steph Curry, daddy's son, and I'm not taking slights. Look, because MJ is daddy's son, too. When daddy's son is at David's son, playing basketball, a lot of people were late to that party of who is Steph Curry. And then I noticed people did tune in to watch Steph Curry in the tournament, right? Remember that moment? They got eliminated. But we saw a couple of games of Steph Curry doing it, and then when everyone jumped in and say, okay, you got our full attention, damn, cut a little short. It's okay. Damn, he can shoot. Damn, little man gonna make it. Some people said he wasn't gonna make it. So all of a sudden, you got a rooting interest for you. People love you, and some people love to hate on you. Steph Curry, all right. You get to the NBA. You're dealing with injury after injury to those ankles. Okay? Remember all this in totality, add it all up, right? It takes you to your fourth year to finally score more than 20 points a game. So this whole greatest shooter of all time in potential, boy, it was a slow build. It was a late bloom. Now, he's on a team with Klay Thompson. Y'all remember these moments because I know Klay and I know his family well. There was an argument, is Steph Curry better than Klay Thompson? Why? Because Klay could shoot almost as well, but he played both ends of the court. So we're having this conversation of like, damn, is he even the best player on this team? Nah, yeah. And then finally we said, okay, silence that. Steph Curry, he shoots better than Klay. He's the best player on their team. But then he messed around and got a super team, but he reversed it. He just said, +1. I'm going to stay still. You come to me, Kevin Durant. And then there was no conversation who's the best on that team. It was Kevin Durant, two-time Finals MVP. Steph Curry, not ever a Finals MVP. But then Durant leaves. And now you're looking like, damn, Durant left. He was the best player on that team with Steph Curry. And Durant, some would say, is not even the best player in the league. It's still LeBron. Oh, man, Steph Curry, not exactly tier one right now. So then you see all of a sudden Golden State goes down, and then here they come surging again. This late bloom again. Steph Curry again. But you know what? It's just too little too late in terms of the conversation of face of the NBA. Because you know how we like our stars? We like our stars shooting. We like our stars from hello. We like the king. We like the chosen one. We like them from hello. You saw that they were going to take over like Michael Jordan his rookie year. So you got to put respect on Steph Curry, and I'm not taking shots, but it's pretty simple and it's pretty easy to know why he's not the face of the NBA, on top of the fact that the face of the NBA still plays.
Marcellus just gave us the biography of Steph Curry, and I appreciate that. I'm going to give it to you in a different package. That book's going to get a different cover, but I think we're coming at this the same way.
Okay.
It's simple. He isn't the face of the league right now because we got to see the opportunity. You just talked about LeBron James having to share the stage. We got to see Steph Curry on the stage by himself last year for the most part, and he couldn't even get that team to the playoffs. It was dramatic in that they almost got there. They got to the play-in game, but the reality is he couldn't get them to the playoffs by himself. That's not a dominant player. Year before, he's not even visible. So that's why he isn't the face of the league right now. The reason that he hasn't been is the fact that he's never been, to Marcellus's point, he's never been the most dominant player in the league, ever. He won 3 championships. He was never Finals MVP. He's won league MVP twice. He was never regarded as the best player in the league at that time. Steph Curry is probably the most unique superstar, championship winning, in the conversation for top 10, top 20, top 30 players all time, the most unique we've ever seen because he's not a dominator. He's a unifier. There's something about what Steph Curry brings to a team in intangibles. A guy that's as great a scorer as he is, that has as much confidence as he has, as much willingness to take the big shot, and yet He will make room for a Klay Thompson. He will make room for a Kevin Durant. His eye is always on the big prize and not what he is doing individually. And that's a very unique ability and mindset for a player of his caliber. But it's also the secret to his success. And that just doesn't translate to face of the league. We want that dominant, can stare down anyone, can get it done against anyone, seemingly by themselves. We know the reality is nobody does it by themselves. But it's clear to us that Steph Curry does not do it by himself. And that's why he and the Golden State Warriors could be the team of the league, the faces of the league, but he is not the solo face.
I love this show. I love this show. Can I see Marcellus? Can I see my big bro, man? I love this show because it's incredibly nuanced. Slick, you hit the nail on the head. Yeah. And I don't even need my notes anymore because you completely deviated me from there, but to a better point. The reason Steph Curry is not the face of the NBA is because I don't think our society gravitates towards what Steph Curry is best at. Steph Curry is best at unifying. Again, in my mind, the reason Golden State won those chips with Kevin Durant is not because they were the most talented team in the NBA, albeit they obviously were. It's because Steph Curry had enough humility to say, although I might be the best shooter in NBA history, hey, Kevin Durant, I'll share the spotlight with you. And more than sharing the spotlight, I'll ride shotgun so you can drive. We have seen Kevin Durant not be able to make it work with players as equally individually talented as Steph Curry. I digress. Why is Steph Curry not the face of the NBA? Because of something Marcellus said yesterday. And I will take it more in Will Smith's words, but Marcellus alluded to it. Our society has a bias towards action, but their opposites are equally as powerful, right? Stopping is just as powerful as starting. Resting is just as powerful as training. Silence is just as powerful as talking. So while we have a bias towards LeBron James, and we should, I mean, due to 6'8", 270, and a beast, the fact of the matter is Steph can't be the face of the NBA because our society just doesn't gravitate towards what Steph Curry is actually most uniquely gifted at, which is just being the glue. Nobody ever notices the glue. You notice the artwork. You notice the craft. You don't notice what is holding the craft together. And that is actually what Steph Curry is great at. As good as Steph Curry is at his craft, he's actually even better at making sure everybody else can maintain their excellence while he maintains his. I loved your point, Slick. Just wanted to add to it.
Man, Slick, let me talk to y'all.
Yeah, look.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Slick, go ahead. I really don't have anything right now.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Marcellus.
Oh, damn it, I hate you. Okay, here we go. You know what's interesting about Steph Curry? And golly, y'all ask me questions that there's always just a slightly better option. Like we're talking about face of the NBA, it's LeBron James. That's no slight to Steph. It's just LeBron James is the face of the NBA. We have a lot of conversation between Durant and Steph in terms of who's a better player. To me, it's Durant. But it's no slight to Steph because he always puts himself in these conversations. But his relatability actually hurts him in this conversation as well. Let me tell you why. People don't understand the dynamic in terms of the boy next door, the guy next door, the man next door is not who you're going to put on your fat head in your bedroom. You're not putting that poster up in your game room. You know why? It makes you feel good. Like, damn it, the dude that I just saw, the dude who looks just like me is doing it. But we don't like sports for that reason. We like sports because we want to see the extremes exaggerated. That 0.1%. We want to see big, fast, strong doing something insane all the time as sports becomes a microcosm of life, right? So when you look at Steph Curry, he's not going to win that conversation when you see a LeBron or Kevin Durant who was perfectly built to play the game of basketball at 7 feet, could dribble, or Giannis. You got Steph Curry. And I'm just telling you guys, that undermines his argument for these situations. My last point is this. This is why Steph Curry is amazing. Because I was listening to some Jordan Peterson lectures and conversations, and he was talking about how in a society, the most powerful don't become the most powerful for long. Why? Because someone just a little off of being as powerful as you, physically, let's just say, and he used the example of chimpanzees, but whatever. Someone else who is competent but unifies will be able to overtake you as being the most dominant and powerful. And it's interesting that Steph Curry has been able to be so competent, maybe a greatest shooter of all time, if not definitely, but also bringing in others to help unify his efforts to become the champion he is. I respect Steph Curry fully, and I want to get that out. But in the conversation of face of the NBA, the boy next door ain't going to be it, y'all. It's going to be somebody from another planet.
Yeah, that's 100% right. Because to Acho's point, it's not just what Steph Curry is, it's what he isn't that eliminates him from being the face of the league. The boy next door isn't arrogant. The boy next door doesn't have an air of superiority, at least not in our mind, right? Of what makes him the boy next door. And that's the poster we put on our wall. That's why the Transformers have what they have, because they're overpowering. That's not what you think of when you think of Steph Curry, and you don't think of that arrogance, that presence, that superiority that you get from LeBron James with the glower and with Michael Jordan and going down the line of the guys that have been the face of the league. But this is the element. This is why I either wish that Steph Curry was the face of the league or that LeBron James would take a lesson from Steph Curry about talking about being in the conversation for face of the league or a representative of the league. In that All-Star interview, he talked about the responsibility that comes with being able to move the needle and understanding that because of what you do on the court, you're capable of moving the needle culturally, socially, and there comes a responsibility with that. And that's what I've always admired, respected, and appreciated about Steph Curry, is that he doesn't misstep. He understands the power of his words and the power of his actions, and he is very conscious of making sure that he never steps out of line or goes the wrong way or has to suggest that he's been misunderstood or he misspoke. And for LeBron, that happens so often, and I often find myself thinking, you're too big, you're too visible, you're too powerful to go down that road, to put out that tweet, to make this personal, to say something that's misinformed. And yet he does. And that's where Steph Curry's on the right line. With that being the face of the league, that's not just an honor, that's a responsibility.
But Slick, because I have this conversation pre-show, and we're going to have to keep it tight. I know time.
Do we?
Here's the problem I have with your statement. It is easier to avoid missteps when you have to take or get to take less steps. And that is what I think people underestimate when it talks about LeBron James. LeBron has to take more steps than Steph Curry. Obviously, Slick and I are having a figurative conversation. LeBron James has to comment about more than Steph Curry. LeBron James is...
Does he?
Here's why I think he does, Slick.
Push him, Slick.
LeBron has to comment or will be asked to comment on seemingly everything on social media and or in real life. Nonsensical rumors, and maybe there are truths to them, came out about Steph Curry and his wife. It didn't even hit real, like, we talked about it off camera. We ain't really talk about that. Let that be with LeBron James and Savannah. Way bigger story that LeBron is probably going to have to address. Steph Curry was just like, I ain't even going to pay that no mind. LeBron James has, just on social alone, we're talking 3x the followers of Steph. So I just think LeBron has to take more steps than everybody. Thus, he will make more missteps than everybody. Talk to me, Slick.
Did he have to comment on Daryl Morey's tweet about Hong Kong?
Here comes the hammer. Here comes the hammer.
And you're suggesting that he would have to tweet about, or he'd have to respond. Look, he's going to be asked. He's asked all the time. My issue is that he's often asked and he answers without having done his homework first, or the thing's not fully baked. Like, he always has the option. Every person has the option to say, let me get back to you on that. Or I don't know enough about this yet. Or that's really not my concern. Like, there's always that option. LeBron just always seems to take the bait. And I feel as if he gets himself caught into conversations and issues that he's either not informed well enough about, or I'm thinking, you don't need to go there. Yes, you're going to be asked. Always. And you know what? That doesn't serve LeBron. That serves the person asking, because now they have the material that says, LeBron responded to this. That doesn't serve LeBron any purpose. And yet, all too often, he decides that he needs to jump into it. So I hear you in terms of the visibility and certainly the demand to answer, but I feel as if he could do a little editing, right? He doesn't have to answer all the time to everything.
Yeah, you know what? I got to just take a quick left turn here because I got to get this point out. My favorite sports movie and franchise is Rocky. Like, I grew up, like, literally, it felt like every weekend just glued to the tube, laying on the living room floor, watching Rocky. It seemed like it came on every weekend. Love it. Now, Rocky was the guy next door, y'all. Hey, yo, Rocco. Like, he was the guy who, when you gonna do it, Rocky? We know you can, and he did it. But I want to draw a parallel between the movie, and everyone knows that story, how Sylvester Stallone finally said, hey, I got to do it or it's not going to be done, and he did it. He was the actor, producer. He's Sylvester Stallone now. Rocky 1 hits, and it hit hard. And then Rocky 2 came out, and it was great, too. But you know when it really hit next-level stratosphere? Rocky 3. Because they introduced a figure, a Goliath figure, Clubber Lang. And all of a sudden, you were like, guy next door meets somebody from another planet. Shut up, fool. You're like, oh, Lord. And the numbers, adjusted gross based on present-day value, that was bigger than Rocky 1 and 2. But then they were like, wait a second, I think we own something here. Y'all remember Rocky 4? When they went and got Drago from the lab. Goliath Plus. My point is this. I love you, Steph Curry. You're my favorite because you're like Rocky to me. But damn it, I ain't gonna lie. I was in love with Clubber Lang and even more with Drago.